Thank you, Tim. And thank you everyone for your time today. Alterra, we're an originator, developer and manager of land and water assets here in Western Australia. And what we do and what we specialize in is turning undervalued land assets into premium horticultural assets. And this really falls into the development ag space, and the fact that what we do as a company is bringing the people, the technology, the assets and the capital together to unlock value. And it's one of the most lucrative ways to gain exposure to an industry currently generating 60 billion of farm gate revenue a year and forecast to reach 100 billion by 2030. Carpenters is our flagship horticultural development. This asset here is located in the Pemberton region. And it's a former blue gum plantation that we're now moving through to a 300 hectare avocado development. Key to that has been the water infrastructure and enabling that development. And to just give an order of magnitude of what this means for the asset and what the waters enable us to do, we're taking an asset that would have generated over 30 years, circa 30 to $40 million of revenue, to something that will generate 1.1 billion of revenue. And really fundamental to that is the water, and that's what's attracted us to this region and this asset. Carpenters has an amazing water asset, and the fact that our access to this asset and what we've been able to do is fix our price for water for the next 50 years. Moving forward, in terms of Alterra, I mean, first and foremost, we're here to drive value for our shareholders. And we think there's a lot of value as we continue to advance the Carpenters project that we'll be unlocking this year. You know, our model here is working with landowners, top tier growers, and then accessing tightly held regions to add value to those assets in there. So we've got an exciting year ahead of us, and a number of key stages to this project that we see will unlock a lot of value as we move it through the development stages. Moving forward on the milestones and what we've been able to achieve. We secured this asset over a year ago. It has all the critical components to be a top tier asset in the horticultural sector. And so far in the 12 months that we've had the asset, we've been able to conclude a comprehensive feasibility study. We've designed and fully funded a 4,100 megaliter dam as a major piece of infrastructure. This is a body of water that stretches 2.2 kilometers in size. It covers 65 hectares of land, and is one of the largest private dams to be constructed in Western Australia in the last 2 decades. So that's now fully funded, and we've broken ground on that development. We've also cleared around 2/3 of the blue gums, and we planted an initial 5 hectares in 2020. And what that's allowed us to do is calibrate how we're going to move the rest of the asset through the development and really unlock value from that. Next stage for us within this development is completing the major dam infrastructure. And we've also now primed the next 52 hectares, which we refer to as stage 2, for development and planting this year. Moving forward, we've selected to transition the value of this asset using avocados. And you know, avocados for us is obviously a fruit that a number of people are big fans of, and we are. The Pemberton region is a major avocado production region, and obviously famous within Australia for producing a premium fruit within a premium market window. It also, as a horticultural activity, lends itself really well to our investment model in monetizing water. It's one of the highest value horticultural sectors here in Australia. We're seeing burgeoning demand both domestically and within the immediate export markets of Southeast Asia. It's a fruit that lends itself well to a corporate model, where we have the ability to store the fruit on the tree and select when we harvest it. And once it's harvested, it has a long shelf life, which means we're able to export this via sea freight into some key strategic markets. We're fortunate, and as part of selecting this asset, there is a significant packer and a marketer, APMS, which is located only 30 kilometers from our asset. And APMS is already supplying avocados from this region into Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Japan. And in the last 4 weeks, it's just gained access to Thailand. And so, we see an asset that's very resilient, has a very stable long-term income stream. And really on our base case financial model, we're able to generate institutional investment grade returns at half the market price that currently has been achieved for avocados in that region. I'm just moving to the next slide. Within the asset itself, there's a lot of value to unlock. The present value of the asset is circa $100 million. And we're now at the stage of bringing this development through and unlocking that value. I think it's worth pointing out that as this asset moves through to a maturity and a revenue generating profile, that revenue stream and that stability of a asset-backed revenue stream is highly attractive to institutions. And that's why we're seeing in this sector a number of pension funds and then more recently ESG and property investment funds participating in the sector. We had a Canadian pension fund as recently as 2018 acquire a 300-hectare avocado orchard here in Western Australia, and that asset fetched record farmland prices for Australia at the time. Moving forward, we've done a deep dive on the sector before we decided to select this Carpenters project from our pipeline, and we've looked very hard at the on-farm and the post-harvest costs. Interestingly, we're confident that we can deliver a piece of fruit to the market for 65 cents, including the on-farm and post-harvest costs. The post-harvest costs themselves represent about 58% of the total cost curve. And so as the industry continues to evolve, as it becomes more corporatized, we think there's a lot of potential to reduce the cost curve further for avocados. I mean, right now, we're seeing avocados on special at the IGA for 2 for $10. But we really think the future within the sector is a retail offering of $2 to $2.50 and making sure that avocados become part of a household diet day in, day out. Looking forward to the next slide of the development roadmap. As I say, we've now entered the next stage of building out the asset. Our core focus at the moment is driving value and driving value from the asset. Alterra owns 100% of this asset, and with the primed area, the next 52 hectares for development, the dam infrastructure, and the ongoing discussions that we're having with the equity and debt markets around building out the whole program over 3 years, we've got a lot of exciting news flow to come over the next 12 months. Looking forward, the next slide provides a bit of an overview for the region. It really is a beautiful part of the world. It has a unique soil, climate, water that lends itself to producing a quality avocado. We market avocados out of this region between September and February, and we see peak demand within Australia in November and December. And we're seeing a number of other marketers of avocados do exceptionally well in this category, namely Costas and a number of other parties. And the November and December window is part of a 365 days of the year offering of avocados. And so this asset, being 300 hectares in size, will represent around 10% of the total production area of Western Australia in one single asset. As you can see from the pictures, there's a number of activities going on. The trees that we established in 2020 have established themselves exceptionally well. And we're developing a number of methodologies to bring those trees, get them established quicker and bring that income stream on. Looking at ESG, ESG is core to this investment opportunity. We pride ourselves in being able to generate property-like returns, but also an additional environmental and social impact. It's not lost on us that we are custodians of land, and everything that we do with the land is designed to leave that asset in a better position than when we took it on. That falls down to everything that we do, from water use, the revegetation of the land, the soil carbon, the employment generation that we're creating from moving this into a horticultural asset, and including, using avocados, turning value of water into avocados, and avocados into export dollars into a regional location. Looking at our corporate snapshot, Alterra, we're a company that has gone on its journey, secured a significant asset, and primed itself to start to generate a lot of value for shareholders. We're fortunate to have some very supportive shareholders who recently participated and topped up in the business. And we are attracting shareholders from shareholders that understand the property dynamics of this industry, right the way through to high net worth farmers that understand the value of water. If we look just the final slide, and I'll just wrap up here. We obviously now have the asset and the team in place. We've got for the size of business that we are, we've managed to attract a great leadership team, and a leadership team that really has a strong track record of delivering value for shareholders here in Western Australia. So, in summary, this year is all about taking this project through and then pulling down on further projects that are in our pipeline and providing the same uplift in value to these assets, bringing that capital through to make an impact in the industry, and really just transitioning and participating and allowing investors to access a direct investment opportunity in quite a unique and lucrative area of the ag sector. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Oliver. Bang on time. Thank you. So why is the company listed? It's almost like a managed fund sort of product, if you like. A lot of high net worth investors have had experience with these sort of products. Trees, for example, plantations. Why list? Is the plan to kind of grow these assets and have access to capital?
Yeah, it is. So, these assets are held in subsidiaries, and it allows us to bring capital both through the listed structure and directly into the asset itself. Our listed structure and what we aspire to do as we develop these assets is, as we transition them into long-term asset owners, institutional capital, the listed co is well positioned to provide all the development and management services. So developing these assets, releasing value, transitioning them into long-term patient capital, and then providing annuity back to our shareholders, we think will unlock a lot of value for them.
You have a very astute investor there, John Poynton, who I met some years ago. What's his role in the background?
Yeah, John's been involved with me in this company over the last 18 to 24 months. It's his chair on our advisory board. And really, it's been able to have someone of John's caliber within Western Australia as we unlock this opportunity is excellent. There's a lot of attention on us because we are enabling development and transition of an industry, and working with the water resources that we have within Western Australia, and that's what's really attracted John to this opportunity. So yeah, we're very fortunate to have John as an advisor, mentor, and shareholder in the business.
And you spoke about monetizing water. Water's a limited resource, potentially one of your biggest risks. How do you manage that?
Yeah, we as a business, we work with landowners that have already secured land and water. So we're entering into opportunities and conducting feasibility with licensed water. We don't speculate on water, but we do detailed long-term modeling. And we're selecting these opportunities based on where we see the changing climate. So we're seeing an opportunity here for industry that's transitioning into climate resilient areas and building infrastructure that stores this water. So we're drought proofing the assets and making sure these assets are self-sufficient in their own capability long term. Water is the key piece of infrastructure that unlocks value here. And that's what we're focused on doing.
And just quickly, as you look for more assets, do you stay with avocados, or do you broaden the crop, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, right now our immediate focus is carpenters. We're seeing potential within that southwest region, using our investment model to build a portfolio of up to 500 hectares of avocados and really just participate in an opportunity where there's a mature industry, some great growers out there, some amazing infrastructure, and just be part of that team. Our focus as a business is permanent horticulture, so that is tree crops. But right now, avocados and the Southwest is the best value for our time, and where we've got the footprint, the relationships, and the investment pipeline.